Citrus.
You
All right, we mentioned, Mike, our game of the week, Lecanto and Citrus, and a big one for the Panthers. We'll hear from head coach Greg Harper about getting over last week's loss to Lake Minneola.
Told him Friday this would be a great bounce back game. We took it on chin pretty good last week, so we're excited for the opportunity to get back on the field and show people that's not our best effort. Absolutely, those rivalry games, especially here in Citrus County, are always really good. So, our kids are excited to have a chance to play against Citrus, and they're undefeated, so lots on the line for them. 6-0. Obviously, a lot of good things have happened for them, and it's because they've played hard and they've been playing together. So, hats off to them. We're going to have to bring our best effort to even stay close.
Best effort to stay close. I guess it might be true.
Well, if you're any kind of an athlete, you want this game, and you want to come out and try to redeem yourself after last week. So you guys just got to come out there and fight and try to get this win. I mean, it doesn't matter whether they're 6-0 or they're 0-6. This is a game that needs to be played. Yeah. And rivalry games are just that day. Anything can happen anytime.
Yeah, and talked about Citrus did a little bit as well about the importance of not overlooking them. They're going to be trying to make their season by knocking off 6-0 Citrus because, the Canes are starting to get some attention, obviously. People are paying attention to them a little bit now because of the record, and it makes perfect sense. And, they know they have to be ready. And Coach O'Brien and the guys talked about it, making sure that they get prepared this week for a Lecanto team that's going to be looking to ruin them.
They've never been put into this situation. Now they're thrust into it, and it's going to be interesting to see how we respond to that. And as coaches, it's important that we get them thinking in the right direction and moving in that right direction. And it's important for us as coaches to be leaders and show them how important these games are.
It's more pressure. We're way more pressure. 6-0. Last time we did that was 13, I think. 13. Yeah. Big target on our back. So just gotta play how we've been playing all 6 weeks and hopefully win a state championship.
Yeah, we're fresh, we're ready to go. It is more of a grind. We're getting a lot more pressure, a lot more X's on our chest. Everyone's looking for us to beat, and we just gotta grind through it and win these last few games. It's a little bit bigger now that we're 6-0. Social media and stuff, a lot of people are talking about us. We like it. It's competition. It's pressure. We want to fight against the pressure.
The interesting thing is, I think, no matter what, you're going to play to win if you're Citrus. You're not going to, not keep everybody involved in the game, but, they are sitting at 2-0 in the district. They still have Hernando, Crystal River, and Nature Coast to play.
3 big ones.
You win those 3, you're the district champ, and it doesn't matter about the rankings and your strength of schedule you're in. How do you handle?
It's just what I say. It's a rivalry game which you want to win.
Right.
But do you?
That's a non-district game.
That's what everybody doesn't realize. I think that's last year. This was a district game. This is not a district game for Citrus or Lecanto.
Right.
So do you change how you react to this game, even though it's a rivalry game?
My guess is no.
My guess would be no at all, too. But I'm saying in the back of your mind, that's the key.
Well, and that's
the player's key. That's what they think about.
Yeah, you get one of your starters dinged up, and it's like 50. He could probably finish the game, or do we sit him and protect him for next week?
I believe what you'll see is if there's a lead or 2 or whatever it is, going to be 2 or 3 touchdowns. Yeah, you'll see O'Brien pull some people on that.
And I'm sure Lecanto's saying, well, our job is to make sure that there is, they're going to.
That's the thing.
The guys are going to have to play the whole game because it's going to be a close one.
As a Lecanto player, you want to make T.J. Weems play and Zaire Wilcox all game long.
Absolutely. You absolutely have to do that, and Look, it's going to be interesting for Lecanto because you had that slow start to the season, and then they got some confidence.
They did.
Looked like they had a chance to make it 3 in a row against the Villages, and then last week happens, and now I think if to me the first quarter, at least the first 2 possessions probably by each team are huge. Lecanto can't get behind early. They can't make those mistakes early.
They've already proven that they can't do that because that's what they have before. They get in a hole and then they have to try to climb back out of it. And they did twice on 2 games, coming back to half to within 1 touchdown or actually 1 point.
5A and the Villages.
Yeah, and they played well, but then the third quarter came up and boom, the hammer came down. So that's where they've got to work on. First and third quarters, I think, is what Coach Harper is really going to say. Look, we got to come out hot, we got to come out smoking, and we got to make sure that they're going to know that we're here. So that first quarter is going to be really important. So if you're going to miss a part of the game, miss a part of the end of the game, don't miss a part of this first game because when we're broadcasting it, that first quarter is going to be important.
It's going to tell the tale. And Citrus in the games we have seen, they've had some very good opening drives.
They have.
They've done a very good job of putting up points early. And one thing. Coach O'Brien has said to me several times, and he said it, when we do these stories, they've had I'll use his word, favorable schedule.
Yes, they have.
They've had a very favorable schedule, but, and like I mentioned to him, what do good teams do against teams they should beat? They take care of them.
Yep.
They push them out of reach, and you don't have to battle in the fourth quarter. And that's what Citrus has done. I mean, Trinity Prep, not as good as Citrus. It was a running clock.
Yeah.
It never felt like last week against Brooksville Central that the Bears were really into it. I know it got to within a score maybe, but it never felt like Citrus was gonna even
they were gonna stub their toe.
They were in control and they never let Central get enough going, and they took care of business at Weeki-Wachee.
He ran for what he ran, but they actually stopped the rest of the
really.
offense.
I mean, really 3 big plays.
That's it.
Which I think you take that if you're anybody who plays them, and they've handled their business, and this will be interesting because. This is by far the biggest game of the year that the Hurricanes have played.
So far.
I mean, I know district game opening them up at Weeki-Wachee is district game, but Central at home. I know it's a district game and you want to win it, but now you got Lecanto, a county rival. You want to win the county championship. The seniors want to win it. This is the first step. Lecanto's already lost to Crystal River, so you got to win this game to put yourself in position to make that game against Crystal River huge.
But that's where I'm a little worried with Citrus on this one because here's what comes out. If you look at what you did against Central and then you look back and see what happened against Lecanto and you say, okay, well, we've got this, no problem. That's a lot. The back of their mind and go, let's just, I'm gonna take it down a notch because I don't want to worry about these guys.
That's exactly what Coach O'Brien was talking about this week. He said we have to make sure we have a great week of practice and we are prepared to play our best game of the season. And I mean, he talked. It starts. It's not one of those that you just go through the motions during practice and you show up on Friday and say, "Yeah, I'm ready. Let's turn the switch. Let's go." And I think he's saying, no, that's not what it is. You guys better have everything in order Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and be ready to go. Otherwise, Lecanto wants to spoil your season. And that's the other thing. I mean, you're playing a county rival. You want the county championship, but I mean, you're 6 weeks into this, and you're dangerously close to putting together an unbelievably special season.
Mm-hmm.
They're the favorites. I mean, we don't do Vegas odds here, but they're a favorite against Lecanto. They're going to be a favorite against Hernando.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you do it on paper, should be 8-0. They get Nature Coast at home.
That's going to be a good game.
That's going to be a really good game. But, however Vegas plays that one out, and then you go to Crystal River, who has struggled this year. I mean, they're looking at it going, 10-0 is there.
That's right.
If we play well enough. And, I mean, even if, you get into the playoffs and it doesn't go great in the playoffs, you still had a 10-0 regular season, which is, how many people can sit back and talk about that?
A lot of people can't, and that's the thing is that you have that bump in the road. And is this one of those games where it's a trap game for Citrus? Because
I think
they're kind of looking at it and going forward. And just what you said, look at the guys coming up. Hernando, we'll get that one too, but that's going to be a little bit tougher than Lecanto. Then we got Nature Coast. Whoo boy.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. And then Crystal River, we're done.
Yeah.
But we can't have this drop right now. So that's going to be tough for Coach O'Brien's staff to really kind of make sure this doesn't happen this week.
Yeah, and if you looked at the Max Preps rankings, which that factors in strength of schedule, still a lot that can move forward, and you would expect it. Citrus, the highest ranked team in that district. There are, I think, 5 spots ahead of Nature Coast. Makes sense because Nature Coast has a couple of losses on the season. But to me, that's sort of that would. It's a scary part that Nature Coast could jump them with a win, and where does that put Citrus in terms of a wild card spot? But there's still a lot of time to get there, and like I said, who knows what's going to happen in this district? But now that you've seen Crystal River fall to Nature Coast, and you've got Citrus 2-0, probably going to beat Hernando. That we're steaming towards that game in Inverness in a couple of weeks, and that'll be a doozy.
It will be. It's going to be fun.
I mean, that's going to be a big time ball game. But Friday night should be fun too, and I'm sure the Panthers are sitting there going, like everyone's talking about Citrus and how they could go 10-0, and they're going to be the county champs, and this, that, and the other. And well, they got a game to play Friday night.
Let's roll into the Citrus Bowl and see what we can do. Bowl them over.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where we will be tomorrow night, live at the Citrus Bowl in Inverness. It's our high school football game of the week right here on Citrus Preps. Gets underway just before 7 o'clock. Mike Dean will have the play-by-play, and Greg Johnson with the color, and we'll try to keep you updated on the other scores. Kind of a quiet night with Dunellen obviously not playing, Crystal River taking on the Villages. So we'll keep you up to date on everything going on, and we of course will be back here next Thursday with another edition of the podcast. Keep a lookout for all of the stories that we have up during the week. You can take a look at them. Once again, you can check us out on our YouTube page. That's where everything is going to be. Twitter also, and Facebook. Like us, subscribe. You'll get the notifications when everything's up there. And we will be back again next week, and tune in tomorrow night for our live high school football game of the week.